Hi guys, welcome to my channel. Today's video is going to be about Tana Mongeau and basically about the creators that have come out against her and have now spoken about their experiences with Tana. I wanted to make this video because I watched Smokey Glow's video about the situation, which I will link down below, and I decided to watch the videos that she was referring to, which I will also link down below, about the whole Tana Mongeau situation. And so I just felt like I should probably make a video about Tana, because I don't feel like I really have made a specific dedicated video to Tana Mongeau, but I have not supported Tana Mongeau for years now. I've always had very strong feelings about this girl, and with every situation that has come out about Tana, I feel more emboldened in my opinion about her. I feel like I'm right. I feel like I've always been right, and these people that have come out against Tana have now also just made me feel like I was right. So yeah, that's what I'm going to be talking about today. But before I do get into it, please go ahead and give this video a big thumbs up, and go ahead and subscribe to my channel if you like content like this, and also turn on the post notifications so that you are notified of the next time that I post a video. So without further ado, let's just go ahead and get into this video. So before we do get into the situations at hand, I would like to give you a little bit of background about Tana Mongeau. Tana is, I think she's 22, I believe. She is a YouTuber. She has been making YouTube videos for a really long time. It feels like a really long time. She's been on the platform for a while now, ever since she was a teenager in high school, and she was basically just doing story times. She's a story time YouTuber, which in and of itself, a lot of story time YouTubers find themselves in hot water for lying, which is one of the main first scandals that Tana was ever in, was the fact that people were finding out that she's a pathological liar, which will also come into play later in this video, and I think is a personality trait of Tana's, that she's a liar. So if you don't believe me, I think that you should watch a lot of compilations made about just like Tana Mongeau lying for like 10 minutes, because there are a lot of those on YouTube, so you might want to go and watch those. But then the biggest, one of the biggest scandals that Tana has gotten into, which has followed her for a while, was her scandal when videos of Tana saying the N-word with a hard R had resurfaced. She tried to lie and say that she thought that it meant homie, but she was calling her black friend, and her black friend only, the N-word with a hard R. And then there was this whole iDub situation. It was just a lot. If you don't know, I suggest you watch videos about that too, just because I would like people to know about who I'm talking about, so they don't think that I'm just being upset for no reason, or that I don't like people for no reason, because I definitely have a reason. And you know, Tana Mongeau has done a lot of really disgusting things. She did TanaCon, where she scammed her fans. That was great. That was wonderful. Loved that for her. She's done a lot of really problematic things, and she is a problematic creator in general. Like, Tana Mongeau is so problematic. She promotes illegal drugs to her young audience that she knows is very young. Usually your audience is like your age or younger, and her audience, if they're 22 or younger, that's a young audience, period. So she has a very young fan base, and she continuously promotes drugs and alcohol, and she promotes a very wild lifestyle, as well as promotes lying, like just lying all the time. She's been exposed for lying several times, and she just gets away with it. And she also promotes getting away with racism, because not only did she get out of that first situation that I talked about of her racism, with videos resurfacing of her calling her best friend the N-word and stuff like that, but recently tweets have come out where she also used the N-word, where she literally called her friend a cotton picker, which at that point it's like, okay, first of all, I need to talk to the friend. I want this friend to have some self-love, because quite frankly, that is crazy to me. Like, you just talk to people out the side of your neck, just talking crazy to people. That's absolutely insane. I could never. I'm sorry, but like, no. At some point, it's just not funny anymore, and you have to realize that that's how someone feels about you. But I digress. So with all of this stuff coming out about Tana, and then her having to apologize and everything, this one person, his name is Colin Berry, he made a video around this time. Maybe these tweets resurfaced after he made this video, or maybe before, but he made this video a few weeks ago, basically addressing his history with Tana Mongeau. So like I said earlier, I'm going to link his video down below, because I don't really want to pick apart his video, especially because there's so much to talk about in this video itself. There's also a whole nother 40-minute video to talk about. So I suggest that you watch his video if you really want to know exactly what he is talking about and his experience with Tana. But he basically said that at the time when all of her racist scandals first started to happen, when her first big racist scandal started to happen, he had reached out to Tana. He was a creator on her collab channel called Trash, and he was the only Black creator, and he reached out to her because he felt a type of way about what she had said to a Black person, her usage of the N-word, and basically reached out to her to let her know that it did hurt him, which already is, and this is coming from personal experience, having to deal with people that you are close to, that you do love. For me, it's been family. Basically confronting them about their racism. That is so difficult. And I always applaud people who are willing to have those difficult conversations, because they are very, very difficult conversations. You know, I wanted to make this video because when watching Colin's video and then watching the next video, Simply Nessa 15's video that I'm going to talk about later, they both had this theme of like having to confront these things and being strong enough to speak out and to speak up about how you feel as a Black person. And recently I've had to do that. You know, I'm getting to an age where I'm an adult, and I look back on my childhood and I remember all of these microaggressions, which was also a huge topic in both of these videos. And you look back and you think, am I just going to let this person continuously do this to me and make me feel this way, and I can't do anything about it, or should I say something about it? And so I just really appreciate the fact that he did say something about it, even though it turned into such a mess, because it shows strength, and it shows that, listen, you can't just do this to people. You can't just do this to Black people and get away with it. So with that being said, he confronted her, and she basically just took it so horribly. She gaslit him. That's what she did. She made it seem as if he was ridiculous, and oh, how can you call me out? Do you know my best friend is Black? Apparently she used that phrase a lot, that her best friend is Black, so how could she be racist? And then there was a situation where pretty much, you know, he was on Skype with some subscribers, and she called him, basically confronting him about, you know, all of this mess. And then, you know, and he told her that she was on Skype, and the next thing you know, she's lying and saying that he recorded her on YouNow, which is not even true. If it was true, Tana, please pull up the receipts of the YouNow, because obviously it would be on YouTube by now. Clearly it's not true. She also spread lies about him being arrested and called him aggressive, and it's just a lot of microaggressions. And to see how he was hurt emotionally, socially he was hurt because people are now thinking this about you, financially because suddenly he's not getting paid for the content that he's making because of all of these issues, just all of these ways that he's being hurt and targeted for speaking up. was very telling. And what I will say in regards to Colin's video is that this seems like a recurring story, not just with Tana, but with a lot of people who are called out on their racism. Everybody wants to view themselves as the hero. Everybody wants to view themselves as the good guy. Nobody wants to take the fact that they could be the bad guy in a situation. Nobody wants to confront that. And I think that that is part of the whole, I guess, how Tana was thinking about these situations. She wanted to make herself a victim, and she wanted to make herself look the best way that she could possibly look. And now it's backfiring on her. Now she is reaping what she sowed, as far as, trying to make everybody else around you look bad because you can't confront, you can't just admit that you aren't perfect. And that's it's such a simple concept, and I think it all comes down to pride. It all boils down to pride. The fact that Tana Mongeau sat up there and lied about the fact that she said the N-word, and about the fact that she didn't know that it was racist and all these things, because she was so prideful that she didn't want to just own up to the fact that she could make a mistake. And so now you get all of these horrible situations that Tana, you created, you caused, because you decided that you wanted to be prideful. That's how I view it. And this situation is no different. Also, one thing that I found it just hit home for me, and like, this situation, it's hitting home for me a lot, because I feel like people have treated me the same way, even just in regards to racial situations. I felt like people have treated me the same way, but also just in situations amongst friends where I didn't feel like there was any racial motivation. The idea that, like, you're just viewed as aggressive, or you're just being viewed as emotional, and you're being viewed as you fly off the handle and you're just angry. That is something that I just understand how extremely annoying, how extremely infuriating, how extremely emotional it can get someone, because it's just like, I want to communicate my feelings to you. I care about you so much, and I care about how you view me so much, that I'm trying to communicate how I feel to you and how I feel about what you did to me. But you're just you're interpreting it as me being irrational. And I've had this happen between me and friends, and it's very difficult, to try to tell somebody how you feel and being immediately shut down because of how they view you as a person. And instead of viewing each situation that you talk about separately and discerning if I'm right in a situation or if I'm wrong in a situation by those situations themselves, you just assume that I'm wrong because of whatever idea you have of me in your head, whether that be because I'm black or whether that be because of how you view me. And I think that in this situation, it definitely was racially motivated, and it's very disheartening to think that we still have to go through things like this constantly by people who claim to be allies, by people who claim to be friends, by people who claim to be so liberal, and all of these different things that they claim to be. Behind closed doors, they still use these gaslighting tactics to make Black people feel small. Now, with Simply Nessa 15's video, I felt convicted, honestly, because when I watched her, I had a very negative view of Simply Nessa 15. Obviously, it wasn't racially motivated, because quite frankly, I didn't even know that she was Black for a very long time. So I truly did not know that she was Black, so it obviously wouldn't have anything to do with race. But I think the reason why I felt so I just didn't like her was because other people who might have been motivated by race were saying all of these things about her. Were saying that she was angry. Were portraying her in a certain way and in a certain light. It also made me reevaluate how drama channels and how like these tea channels, even my channel, could possibly make someone out to just to look a certain way, and to you think that these channels make people look like what they are, but maybe these channels instead make people look like what they want them to look like. And I've had to come to terms with that with a lot of drama channels that I've decided to unsubscribe to, how they made certain people look way better than what they were instead of just reporting the drama like they said that they would. It was just things like that, and I feel like maybe that's what happened with Simply Nessa 15, because of people who were racially motivated, who did know that she was black, and were going to then act upon that knowledge and treat her worse and make her look worse. So Nessa went into the whole friendship that she had with Tana Mongeau. She met Tana on YouTube, and then she, I think, had Jordan, who is Tana Mongeau's manager. She had Jordan as her manager first. Jordan then was introduced to Tana through Nessa, and he immediately signed her and then started to basically work more with Tana than with Nessa, which she also feels was racially motivated because she, like she said, white people are more marketable, which I completely understand, and I can see exactly where she's coming from and exactly why she thinks that way. And then she also went into how Tana basically kept accusing her of talking about her behind her back. Really silly high school stuff. Like the drama itself was very high school. Just you're talking about me and all of this talking about. However, what isn't high school to me is how Tana treated Nessa when these things did happen. It just seemed like Tana was immediately going to make Nessa out to be angry, aggressive, emotional, just someone who flies off the handle, someone who can't listen to reason. All of these things that Tana made Nessa feel like she was, and then would portray her to be on the internet, and how a lot of people have portrayed Nessa to be. Now, will I say that Simply Nessa 15 has been perfect all of her career on YouTube? Of course not. I have seen a lot of things that I didn't agree with as far as what Nessa has done in the past with past drama. However, she is still a human being, and human beings have the capability to be right in a lot of situations and to be wrong in a lot of situations. And so with this situation, I do feel like Nessa was in the right. She exposed a lot of text messages that corroborate her story. And I mean, I don't think that she's lying about the fact that Tana made her look worse than what she looked. And I did like the fact that Nessa owned up to her part in drama and owned up to the fact that she might have slipped up here and she might have slipped up there. But what Nessa didn't do was treat someone differently because of their race. And I feel like she is being truthful and not lying about the fact that Tana did in fact do these things to her. And again, this situation goes back to gaslighting Black people when they do speak up, when they do confront you, when they do say, hey, listen, you're treating me wrong, you're treating me poorly, here's why. Even if they're not fully correct, it's like you should listen to people when they speak, and you should give them the respect that they deserve. As far as when they come up to you and they try to handle a situation with you, you don't immediately just brush them off as being irrational, angry, and aggressive. And that's what Tana did to both of these people. She definitely did it to Nessa, and she definitely painted Nessa out to be a worse person than what she was. And she also then put her fans on Nessa, which is an extremely calculated move, and she knew exactly what she was doing. A lot of influencers try to pretend like they don't know how much influence they really have. But if you didn't know how much influence you really had, you wouldn't be able to make money off of it. So clearly you do. Clearly you know that your influence has literal monetary value in the thousands. So obviously you have a lot of influence. And that's to make people buy something from from a company. How much more so do you have influence when it comes to all of your fans, who again are a lot of teenagers who are they can be mobilized very easily? How much more so do you have influence over them when you're talking about situations where you claim to be slighted, where you claim to have been done wrong? I mean, she knew her influence and she still did it anyways. And Shane Dawson, I'd also have to, say something about the fact that he also put his fans on her. And again, I'll link her video down below if you haven't seen her video and don't know the exact situation that I'm talking about. But pretty much they both mentioned her in a video, and now Shane Dawson's fans were also on her. And that's just such a hard position for people to be in. And it is such a powerful position for these people to be in, because it's like, well, if you say anything to me, I don't even have to address it. I can just sick my fans on you. And then no one will even listen to me after I make an apology 3 weeks later. You know what I'm saying? Because it's just the situation would then be dead. And then people would move on and forget that it even happened. But you don't forget that trauma. And you don't forget the fact that someone that you used to call a friend treated you so poorly. So Tana, like I mentioned earlier, did apologize to Colin in a long Twitter thread, which you can find on her Twitter, where she addressed the racist tweets that resurfaced and she addressed Colin at the same time. And today she also posted an Instagram story, which I will insert in this video, where she basically said that she's going to address everything and not come up with excuses and da-da-da-da-da, and yeah. So I'm just gonna go ahead and insert that clip for you so that you can hear what she said about everything, and then I'll come back with the rest of my thoughts on the situation.
Did just want to really quickly come on IG story and say that I see everything everyone is tweeting at me, commenting, every article, everything. And I will be making several videos over the next coming weeks, fully just addressing it all with full honesty and taking full accountability for so many of my wrongdoings in the past. And I just want to let you guys know that that is coming. I just want to take in everything that everyone is saying, and I want to do my best to show you who I am at this point in my life and take accountability for a lot of the wrongs that I've made in the past. So I will be coming out with a video, several videos, with a lot of just the truth and apologizing. And those are touch on it. I want to apologize for not making the video sooner. There's nothing I can say. There's no excuse I can say to make that right. I should have made this video weeks ago and I didn't, and I'm sorry for that, and I will explain further in the videos. But if you don't want to listen, I also fully understand, and I just wanted to say that this is a situation that a lot of people are going to be angry at me or angry with me no matter what, and I fully know that, and I accept that, and I understand that, and I just want to apologize and like sympathize with that. It's not a point where I'm trying to like make the whole world side with me. I don't think that's like what this is. It's about me growing and becoming a better person and actually holding myself accountable for my past and actually discussing that in a manner that isn't deflecting, in a manner that isn't, half true. I'm done with all that shit. It's not worth it to me anymore. I'm sorry for this long rant, but my videos are coming, and I'm sorry for how long it took. I only know who I am now, but I know that that is not enough, and regardless, I have a platform, and I have to be accountable for my past, regardless of how far I am from that now, and I plan on doing that. So I'm going to stop with all this IG bullshit.
Honestly, I just believe that Tana Mongeau is a racist. I do. I don't care if she has black friends. A lot of slave masters, they probably thought that the slaves were sometimes their friends, and they probably had like cute moments with their slaves or whatever. And so they thought, I can't be that racist. Look how well I treat my slaves. they're still your slaves. You're still racist at the end of the day. Tana Mongeau, I think, is no different in the sense that she convinces herself that she isn't racist, but all the signs point to the fact that she is. All of her actions point to the fact that she is. I can't trust her. I wouldn't trust her I would not trust her as far as I could throw her. I think that she's a bad person. I just do. I have ever since the N-word scandal. Even before that, when I found out that she would just lie on people all the time, you have to think, like, if someone's a pathological liar, what in the world makes you think that they are going to be sincere in an apology? What in the world makes you think that? What in the world makes you think that Tana Mongeau is going to sincerely apologize? If she was so willing to monetize off of lies that she just pulled out of thin air, because a lot of those lies she did in fact pull out of thin air. A lot of the lies that she told about these people that I talked about in this video, she kind of pulled out of thin air. What in the world makes you think that she's going, like, she has not proven herself to be a good person in any aspect of her life at all, really. She's just not a good person. Don't know how else to say it. Don't know how else to communicate that, but it's just the truth. And I have always thought this. And if people are now unsubscribing to her, I would just say, and I'm sorry, but it's just the truth. Told you so. I'm the person that's gonna say told you so, because people don't listen to me. And so when they do listen, it's like, oh wait, finally? Because I've told you this for like years now. If you're unsubscribing from her now, what prevented you from unsubscribing to her back then? You get what I'm saying? Like, what in the world? Like, it's just like, what does she have to do? Does she have to kill a nun, like, for you to finally believe that this girl is not a bad person? Like, I'm sorry, but Tana Mongeau should not have a platform. She just shouldn't. She's not a good person. She gaslights her friends. She does extremely racist things. She does all of these scams her fans a billion times, lies to her fans like in almost every single video, just completely lies, promotes illegal drugs, promotes literally driving under the influence, which she's done in a video and then and it was on the internet. Like, all of these things that she's done, and she still has a platform. Like, she just shouldn't. So to have this conversation about her over and over and over again is exhausting. It's exhausting to have to try to convince people that Tana Mongeau is a bad person when they have had the evidence for years, when she posts the evidence herself on her YouTube all the time, that she is not an upstanding good person, that she is not a person that teenagers, that young people, that young adults should look up to. She's just not. Like, what traits makes you think that she is a good role model or a good person to subscribe to follow? I don't get it. Like, I don't get it. She has no talent, so you can't like her because she's good at music or whatever, or she's a good actress, because that's not why you like her. You like her because of her story times that are lies. So, like, I just don't understand how people can like someone who consistently shows that they're just not a good person. I don't understand that, and I don't think that she needs a platform. I think that she should have been deplatformed a very long time ago, at least since TanaCon. The fact that she's still kicking, the fact that she still has subscribers and followers, the fact that she had an MTV show is wild to me. And then just to touch on the larger themes of race and racism that Nessa's video and Colin's video both touched on and both kind of talked about. So many Black people who are friends with non-Black people, who are even family with non-Black people, as I am. It is so difficult to have these conversations, because this type of situation that both of these people experience with Tana are the types of situations that you dread. You dread being then villainized and vilified for speaking up about something that actually hurt you. You dread having the label of angry. When I had to have these conversations with my family, it was like I was so scared of being too emotional or coming off as angry because I knew that they would just dismiss everything that I said, which for one thing isn't right. It's just not right, especially because if someone is so passionate about what they're saying, then that, to me, in my personal opinion, makes me want to listen to them even more. But with Black people, it just discredits us. It makes us look small. It makes us look like we're savages or something. And it hurts. It hurts me to my core that people that I love don't listen to me. They just view me as being someone who's just angry. Recently, I tried to explain to my friends something that had happened, and this situation wasn't racially motivated, but the feeling is still the same. I had tried to explain to my two friends who were friends with this girl who lied on me to a point where it almost ruined my senior year of high school. I tried to explain to them for years what she did to me. And then recently I had these conversations and I explained to them again, and they finally listened and it clicked. And it was such a weight that was lifted off of my shoulders because it was like finally someone is listening. Someone is listening. Somebody wants to understand what I'm saying and where I'm coming from. Before, while I was talking, it was just them formulating an opinion of the fact that I'm aggressive and angry. But then, when they finally decided to listen, they understood. And I think that Tana Mongeau did not want to listen to these Black people because of the fact that they are Black. That's really what it boils down to. Why does Tana receive so much grace? Why do we have to listen to Tana so much, but she cannot listen to Black people that she hurt? We listen to Tana when she hurts others, but she doesn't listen to people when she hurts them. That is insane. That is wild to me. And that is the Black experience. It is constantly having to apologize for being human and for feeling the way that every other human being feels. And because of these racist stereotypes that we can't escape, it seems like, we have to tiptoe around people like Tana Mongeau, people like Jordan, her manager, who will, at any second of showing any emotion or them feeling like you're now on the border of being irrational, it's now just like everything that you said is just nothing. And I hate that they had to experience that. And I hate that that is such a widely known and understood experience that Black people have. And feeling like, well, maybe I'm just misreading a situation. Maybe it's not racially motivated. Second guessing yourself instead of people second guessing their intentions. And now Black people have to second guess how they feel and how they react to a situation. It's so disheartening. And I know that feeling all too well. I sympathize with them. I empathize with them. And I believe them. And it just adds on to all the reasons why I think that Tana Mongeau is a truly disgusting person. So anyways, guys, that is it for this video. Please enjoy this obligatory Tom Holland picture as I close out. But yeah, I wanted to make this video because it definitely hit home for me in a lot of ways. I definitely felt exactly what they were talking about. Like, I've had this experience so many times with so many people in my life. And I've had to have these difficult conversations. And I've had to confront people in these ways that it's uncomfortable for everyone in the situation. But relationships cannot get better if these things continue to happen. Relationships cannot grow if you feel like you're still being weighed down by the past. And so I am so glad that they said something to her privately, and then they realized that the relationship just should not grow. and both relationships ended. Honestly, I am glad for them for that. And I think that Tana's friend that I think his name is Amari, I think that he needs to reevaluate a lot of the things that she's done. And maybe he just views her as such a good friend and everything like that. And I understand that it's hard. Trust me, I know. But at some point, when do you realize that someone just doesn't have any respect for you? And I believe that Tana doesn't have any respect for any black people in her circle because she is racist. But again, like, I just completely understand what they're saying and how they feel, and I believe them, and I just hope that they are able to move on and become stronger from the situation, and become stronger in and rooted in the fact that they weren't wrong, that they are valid in how they feel, and that, you know, we don't have to just take this Black experience, that we can do what we have to do to make it better for the next person. So I'm very glad that they made these videos. Thank you so much for watching. If you did enjoy, please go ahead and give this video a big thumbs up. Go ahead and comment down below what you think of this entire situation, and please do subscribe to my channel for more content like this, and turn on your post notifications so that you are notified of the next time that I post a video. Anyways, thank you again so much for watching, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!